Hey, what's up, everybody? So, just a little morsel for the day. So I was listening just the other day to Micheal Bisbing on his podcast, and he's going on, and this is why Bisbing's a schmuck. Okay, calling Kobe Covington a racist and saying that he says racist things. Look, I'm not the biggest Kobe Covington fan. I'm not. I'm not the biggest Donald Trump fan. I actually have a lot of criticisms for Donald Trump. That being said, equating somebody saying things that are provocative to racism simply because you don't like what they have to say because it's not politically correct is utterly ridiculous. Now, I know a lot of people would get upset and be like, oh, well, you better watch what you say. Bisbing would jack you up and this and that. Well, you know what? Okay, here's the deal. I'm not questioning Bisbing as a fighter. Okay, I'm not saying that I could smack him down when it comes to jiu-jitsu or boxing or MMA. But I am going to say this. I could totally smack him down if we're talking about a debate on ideas, because he's making a comment that's absolutely baseless, that he's basically parroting something that, the mainstream media and the main, sports media is giving him. And, of course, this was all, So here's the thing. Here's the problem with Tyron Woodley. The problem with Tyron Woodley is this. Tyron Woodley pulled a bait and switch on his fans. Tyron Woodley, while he was coming up, was fighting like a fighter, okay? As a fighter. What do I mean by as a fighter? He was out to win the fight. The fight, okay? Not the athletic contest, okay? Not the sport side of it, okay? He wasn't approaching the fights as an athlete. After he won the title, Tyron Woodley decided that he was going to start approaching his fights as an athlete. Okay, which is perfectly fine, right? GSP did that, and he has his legacy, right? But here's the thing. Tyron Woodley needs to decide if he's going to fight for legacy or if he's fighting for money. If he's fighting for money and he's fighting as an athlete, that's completely fine. But he has to understand that that's going to harm his legacy. Nobody remembers who, the heavyweight champion was, a heavyweight champion before Tyson, right? Tyson fought as a fighter. He didn't approach his fights as a athlete. He wasn't trying to outpoint people. He wasn't trying to win rounds. Okay, that wasn't Tyson's approach to his boxing matches, right? He came out to knock you the hell out, to beat you up, to win the fight. He didn't approach it with superior athleticism and, oh, I'm going to use these tactics and strategies and these things and those things, right? But he was beloved. That was his legacy. And to this day, if you say Tyson and we are talking about fighters, okay, and we're talking anything about fighting, everybody knows that you are referring to Mike Tyson, not Tyson Fury, okay, not Tyson Antillion, the jiu-jitsu guy, right? As amazing as those guys are, and I think they would agree that if we're talking fighting and somebody just happens to drop, Tyson into the conversation, 9 times out of 10, they would probably agree, yeah, I know you were probably talking about Mike Tyson, especially if they just use a single name that way. So that was Mike Tyson's legacy, right? That is his legacy. That is his brand. That's why he's still beloved and known today, even with all the horrible things that may be in his past, okay? Same with GSP. His brand, his approach, his style was to outwork, okay, to outpoint, to be the smarter fighter. That's who he was. That's who he sold us on, that he was a superior athlete. And that's what he's always sold. Now, to be fair, Tyron Woodley did not sell us that he was going to be the superior athlete while he was coming up. He sold us on the idea that he was a fighter. that he was going to approach his matches as a fighter, looking for the win, looking for the finish, looking to beat them up. However, every time he's been matched up with somebody who's a stylistic problem for that approach, he falls back on his athleticism, which is amazing, spectacular. He is a superior athlete. That being said, that's not going to build his legacy with his fans. It's like a bait and switch. All right, guys. Well, that's the morsel for now. I might come out with a couple more morsels. There's things flying around all over the place. I just don't have time to sit down and put together a whole entire show. As we're getting hectic into the holiday season, we'll see you guys after the new year. New show, we'll actually be able to talk a whole heck of a lot more about the NBA. NBA season will finally be, you know, on a roll, and actually you can give some intelligent conversation, some intelligent commentary on it now, probably after Christmas time. Same with college basketball. Teams will really start separating themselves. We'll start seeing who really is a top 25 team, who is consistent, who can win away from home, those type of things. We'll be able to see the NFL playoff picture, all sorts of good stuff. By that time, we should have some really good fights in the UFC done and be able to talk about what it means for the UFC in 2019. So, guess what? We'll catch you then. Remember, be practical, be purposeful. Get fit with a purpose, guys.